How did I do this yesterday? And I did it again today. There we go. It's the 2022 curse. Just when you have a year of thinking you got everything right, you got everything wrong. But Tom and I are back for what Terry dubs Foreign Fridays. Today we're going to head down to the Queensland, I guess, or what do they call Australia? The Queensland? What else?
That's the state.
And then the land down under, that's what they call.
Yeah, that's the state that the Gold Coast track is in.
A friend once asked me about Australia. How do people hang by their feet? And I said, how do you know that's the bottom of the planet? Right?
True. Well,
because, the universe is
could be upside down. We don't know.
We could be the ones that are upside down for all we know, right? And we're the ones hanging by our feet. But in any case, we won't be hanging by our feet. Hopefully, we'll be hanging by some big winners tonight, Tom. It's tonight, right?
Yeah. Around a little after 9 o'clock Central Time.
So not insomnia racing today. Just
well, the later races would be insomnia because it's a full card.
Indeed. So we're going to be at the Gold Coast in Australia, which when you're looking at your betting app, whatever service that you use for betting, and they listed Australia A, B, or C. From my understanding, it's Australia C tonight. So when you want to bet the races at Australia, make sure you look at Australia C so that you can follow along with what Tom and I are talking about. And we're covering 5 races today because we're coming out in 2022. What's going to be cool is in the year 2022, February 2nd and February 22nd. Unfortunately, we won't be around those days, but you never know with the way technology is going, right? Elon Musk is going to put the Neuralink in us, and by the time this year is over, what the hell, we might live to 10,000.
I hope not.
Do you think that Neuralink's going to help us better?
My purse strings wouldn't be able to survive that long.
Well, they're going to give everybody guaranteed income, right? By then,
yeah, right.
It's going to be a peasant for sure, a serf, absolutely, right? But in any case, let's get to racing, Tom. So we're going to start off. I think it's race number 2, which is the Magic Millions Country Cup. It's 175,813. Tom, if you and I both chip in a buck, we can get it up to 815.
I would hope
Australian dollars.
I would hope so.
Yes, indeed. So this one is, let's get started with, I think, what's most important tomorrow. It's supposed to be raining. Showery.
Right now, soft 7 is the track rating.
And what's the scale? Soft 10?
Yeah.
Or does it go to heavy?
No, then they switch it to heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got moisture. It's got a lot of moisture, but it's not completely sogged.
Not yet. On its way, though. So that to me is one of the key
unfortunately, you got
things.
the time on there. So for Eastern time, it's 2,100 hours.
All right. So
that helps.
hours. Yeah. So that's going to be what? 24, 23, 24 would be midnight. Yeah. So 3 hours back. So 9:43 Eastern. All right. Good. Perfect. So the first race is 6 furlongs, on a soft 7 track and just turf, right, Tom?
Yeah.
And it is going to be a field of 11. Well, one is scratched already, so a field of 10. So why don't you get us cracking off with your first Foreign Friday picks of 2022?
Okay. This is an interesting race because these are for horses that race in what we would call the provinces. So not at the major tracks. They generally race at these smaller venues. Mm-hmm. And we generally cannot bet on those. They're not available to us. So I picked number 3, Star of O'Reilly, as my top choice. It's got 32 starts, 9 wins, 5 seconds, and 2 thirds. On the soft going, it's got 6 starts, 4 wins, and a second. Fast paced last time out in the running 10th, but did get moving and finished 3rd. It did have some traffic issues, and frankly, it needed some room. I watched the replay. This season, it's been in the money and with 1 win in all 4 of its races. And for this race, it gets some weight off even though it's stepping up in company, which I thought was interesting because it does have a pretty good record.
Mhm.
2, Sir Rocket is my next choice. 11 starts, 5 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. And the soft going, it's got 4 starts, 3 wins, and a fourth.
Mhm.
Chased home a front runner last time out and ran too late, frankly. The front runner was just too much, and it was actually a fairly good horse. Race, it's going to race close to the lead. And this is the race before that race. It was close to the lead. Pace that when the jockey turned for home with the horse, he ducked in, and then he finally got the horse straight, and it won. So it was an adventuresome race, but I give credit to the jockey because he did a nice job in getting that horse home. Number 1, Only Wanna Sing is my final choice. 45 starts, 13 wins, 7 seconds, and 5 thirds. The last race, he just had too much to do to win this race because he just didn't start very well and was shuffled back a little. His other 2 races before were at 1,200 meters and 1,400, and these were, not bad. Pretty decent race. The handicapper is giving this horse a break by taking off 5 kilos, even though it's still the top weight in this race. And I just think it needs a better trip because the last one was, not great. And so I'm not going to put it to win, but I'm certainly thinking it's very competitive. And I will have to say that for the most part, I'm pretty chalky in this race.
Yeah, it looks like Only Want to Sing right now, according to the odds here at the skyracingworld.com, are that the Only Want to Sing is the one that everybody will be putting their money on. I started off with number 2, Sir Rocket, and I focused a lot on the times that the horses ran at similar distances, but I also put an emphasis on horses that have run at the track and that have run under what's likely to be a soft surface. So Sir Rocket, number 2, is 2 for 2 at the track. As you mentioned, really strong record on the soft track. Star of O'Reilly, really good on an off track, 4 wins in 6 races. So he's done good there. First time at the track, so that's a little bit of an up in the air. And then you have number 7 is my long shot, Pensaquito. I hope I got that right. 7 of 12 at the track. And on a soft surface, the horse has run 9 times, 5 times in the money. Only 1 win, only 1 second, but 3 thirds. So I feel like it's one that might come up, boost up the profit for the exactas and trifectas. And then how's it going, Roy? Good to see you again, my friend. Hope you're doing some Australian racing along with the races out there in Alberta. And anyway, back to Pensaquito. Horse is making its 3rd start off a layoff, classic angle, but the horse has also already won with that angle. So I'm a big fan of horses that run at the track, run in the distance, and the cycle favors that horse running well again. The next race on the docket, Tom, is the Mega Millions Rising Star C4, which it's the next race after that too. So you got 2 of these races. Why are they both named the same? But is it just like 2 divisions of the same race?
For females.
I get it. Okay, so they should probably make a note of that. Right. So what are we dealing with first here at 6.5 furlongs? The females or the males?
We're going to do the 5th race is the females. And
okay.
I'm going to take number 2, Lady of Luxury, as my top choice. Has 18 starts, 4 wins, 6 seconds, and 3 thirds. Winner last out with a late move, and it appeared to have a lot left because it was a big move. It did have traffic problems, which was interesting. It was behind 4 horses. Jockey had to swing it out, and about 200 meters left in the race, it made a nice run for the finish, and I thought it had stuff left. It's been okay on the soft going, has 10 starts and 2 wins in 3 seconds. The last 2 races it ran were at Randwick, and that's a little better track than this. So, interestingly, we'll see how this horse does. Number 5, Empowerment, is my next choice. 12 starts, has 3 wins, 1 second, and 2 thirds. Appears to have needed the start last out, first up for the season. Finished 6th. It wasn't anything special in the race, but It was okay. I mean, sometimes you just need to stretch your legs and see, you're at 80% rather than 100% form. And that appears to be the case here. She's won second time off once out of 2 races. So she has won it going with the second outing. She has a decent record on the soft going, and this could be the right place for her, based on the way she's run in the past. Again, she's only 12 starts, so it's not big. Lady Banff is my final choice, number 4. 18 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. Last race, well, she didn't get out of the gate. That's the best way to describe it.
Hard to win like that.
This was unique from what I could tell. This has not happened before. And, she's shown signs of life. And so that's why I kind of like her. The soft going may be an issue. She does have a win on the heavy going, which is interesting. So it has done something on the heavy, but maybe not at this level. She's run in much better races in the past. So we're looking at group race or the higher class 1 races, but she's never really done anything in those races. So I really think this is a better spot for her and I think they probably have asked way too much out of a horse that just doesn't have that ability, or at least at this point. And again, we're dealing with 3 and 4-year-olds, and they are, let's face it, especially when you're dealing with fillies and mares, they're still developing. And sometimes they don't come into their own until they're 5 or 6. It's just the way it is. I mean, they're just not mature enough, and I think this may be the case with this horse. And I think they pushed her too hard, putting her in stuff that she just didn't have a chance in.
Well, I think the horse has the best chance here, Tom, is number 1. She Can't Sing. I went straight down 1, 2, 3. I made it real simple for me today in that race, Tom. She Can Sing is 2 for 2 at the track, so you got to like the fact that she knows the course there. And on the soft track, she's got a win and a third in 2 tries. I agree with you. My next pick, Lady of Luxury, the 2 horse. It's another horse that's done well on the off track, 50% of the time in the money with 2 wins and 3 seconds. So it's either going to win or finish second. So it's one of those horses you put in there in the box for the exacta all and then it in all. And then you also look at the fact that only time at the track it ran a second. So I do like Lady of Luxury at the track. And then number 3, Boom Nova. This is a horse. It looks like it's going to be the morning line favorite. Third off a layoff. Last time out in a 3-race cycle, Boom Nova found the winner's circle. So it's also been in the money in 4 of 4 on a soft track. So likes the track. Good cycle. 1, 2, 3 is how they'll finish, and they'll finish exactly in that order, at least according to me. So now we're going to go to the C4 for the boys. This is if you go to the Sky Racing 2 at the very bottom, they give you some selections too. 2, 1, 6, and then I guess the alternatives are 3 and 5.
Yeah.
For that first race, for the last race, 3, 1, 6, and 2, and then now for race number 6, the boys version, Colts version, geldings version. Do they geld horses down there too, or no?
Sure, of course.
I know some places they don't allow that though, where the horses
no, they have
are not
geldings.
gelded.
And like here, some of those old geldings are still running at 10.
Mm-hmm. So this one's a little bit longer, 6.5 furlongs. Again, Showery supposed to be a soft number 7. So maybe number soft 11 would be the first level of heavy. I don't know how that works down there, Tom. But
I've got a chart that we should share next time we do Australian racing. It explains how they do their track conditioning. Both them and New Zealand use the same type of system.
Okay, and we have a 13-horse field here, Tom. And it looks like the couple co-favorites at 3 to 1. Outside of that, yeah, you got some pretty good value here. I have a feeling Tom's gonna hit us something here with some nice odds. One of these horses.
Well, let's face it. I think the odds generally across the board are pretty good. Because I don't really think that the punters are going to be able to pick. It's tough. This is a tough race, and so I went with number 11, Logomania.
25 to 1. Morning line. That's good.
At 3 starts, 1 win and a third. It's only won its maiden race, and it was a nice win. Swept to the stand side when it came out of the turn, had lengths to make up, and it just blew them away. Really nice race. First out, they put it in a Group 3 race, and frankly, it finished last. And let's face it, probably didn't belong there. Better results the next maiden out, and then with a third, and then one. The distance is an unknown. The soft going is an unknown. But why not? If it can do anything close to what it did in its last race, it's going to be very competitive in this race. Number 5, Palladus is my next choice. It has 15 starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and 3 thirds. First race of the season, I was useful. And the reason I say that was it ran 5th, where there was 15 runners. And it was able to move and got up to 4th and then sort of backed off. Well, and again, we go back to needed the race. So we got a second start here. I think it's going to improve off the last race, and I think he's got a good chance even to win. Number 12, Golden 80 is my final selection. 11 starts and 1 win and 3 seconds.
66 to 1 there, Tom.
Yep. I know it's going to be a price.
Well, I'd say 66
after a
to
layoff
1 is a
of
price
4
for
months,
sure.
he ran really 3 races, and 2 of them were really good. And I think one he needed a start. If he makes a good effort here, he's going to hit the board someplace. He got up for second last time out, and I don't think the horse can win, but I think he's competitive enough to be in the money. He's not raced at the bigger tracks, but just one of these horses is going to pop, and I really think you got to, especially in this kind of race, you got to go look for some value. And that's my value horse.
Well, the funny thing is, Tom, I don't know if working together makes us think together, but I agree with you on that horse. I have it as my third pick too. Here I thought I'm going to have the big, shocking 66 to 1 all by myself, and then of course you come in and steal it. But Golden 80 is my third selection as well. It's 66 to 1. It's been on a soft track 4 times. Came home second in 2 of those. And what I like to do a lot of times, I do this in almost every race. I just kind of go through and calculate like how fast the horses run at similar distances. And then I list them and then I rank them to see how they all match up. And when I look at that, it's 6 furlong times are as fast as pretty much most of the other higher rated horses. Not off by much. The one that did run the fastest in 6 furlongs is number 6. That is Head Legislator. That's my top choice. Absolutely the fastest time at the 6 furlongs. And if it runs that same race, it was like a second and a half faster than anything any other horse produced. So just repeat that race and you're in the winner's circle. Pretty simple. And then number 1, The Ritz with Ben Thompson is my second choice in the middle. Horse is perfect at the track, Tom. 2 races, 2 wins. And I'm the more and more I get into data, because I do handicapping and do this stuff with Terry every single day. And I spend a lot of time off air and before we come on in data. And one of the things I'm seeing over and over and over again, because I look at horses that I miss, right? So I kind of go back to look to see how did I miss this one and then make notes so that I can kind of keep track of that going forward. And one of the things I'm seeing over and over and over again lately is I'm missing horses that have performed well at this course that they're running at today, kind of ran somewhere else and got out of form and now are coming back. And I think there's a lot to be said for horses for courses. Race number 7, Tom, is the Tab Wave. That is a 1 1 mile 8th race. So this is a little bit longer than what we've dealt with before. This is a 2-turn race. And are they running backwards down there like the toilets?
Oh, yes, they do run clockwise at this track. And we do. I wish I'd pop up the thing. It is definitely 2 turns, but they start on in a chute. So it's it'll be an interesting run here. I took 9 Starella.
Mm-hmm.
My top choice, 16 starts, has 1 win, 3 seconds, and 4/3. I think this is a drop in class for this horse. She's been running against much better company than what's in this field, and in group races and in top end races. And in those races, her worst run was she lost by about 4.5 lengths. Otherwise, she's losing by a length and a half or half a length. So she's right there at the finish. She's had mixed results on the soft to heavy going, so that puts a little bit of a question mark in my mind on the horse. She is a Group 2 winner last season, and she's run some decent races, and it's just a matter of her finding a race that she can win again. The record doesn't suggest that, but again, I'm looking at the company it's been keeping, and it's much better than a lot of these other horses are run against.
Mm-hmm.
And
at
by
5-1 too, it's good value.
My next choice, it's definitely horse coming off minor tracks, stepping in the big leagues, which is number 14, Telephone Booth.
Another 66-1.
Yeah, 5 starts, 2 wins, a second, and a third. The races have been from 1,100 meters to 1,600 meters. Never been this distance, but everything sort of indicates, and from one of the comments I saw, it says that it wants longer races, and this is certainly a longer race. On the soft going, one run, and it ran third. It's traveled well. I mean, it lost last time out by 7 lengths, and you go, oh, that's really bad. Well, the horse that lost 2 is undefeated, and it's one of those horses that when you say they're up and coming, well, that one arrived and well within herself. So I think getting the lightest weight in the field, I think she's got a good chance of showing up in this race. Number 5, Tallyman Aid is my final choice. 9 starts, 3 wins, 4 seconds, 2/3. Absolutely no complaint about the record. I can't do much better than that. But it's its first time running at 1,800 meters. So it does like the soft and heavy going. It's got 6 starts on it, 3 wins, 2 seconds, and a third.
Mm-hmm.
It's been moving well. It's just not winning yet. But this is a good chance, I think, for it to win if it likes this distance. It seems to be a 1-run horse, so don't be surprised if this horse is back 5, 7, 8 lengths, and then just a matter of traffic, where it can get going. It is a jump up in class, but I'm thinking they're placing her here for it because they want that distance. They want a longer distance, and this seems to be a good spot for it.
Well, I hope you're right that it does find the winning circle, because I have Talameda as my top choice. You mentioned horses run very well on an off track, but it also ran at Gold Coast once, and guess what? It ended up in the winner circle. So we like that. And last race out, the bettors liked it as well, because it looks to me, if I read the program correctly, that it was well bet too. I have number 10, Decentifier, if that's how they pronounce that, as my second choice. Horse is another one that's done well at the track in its only trip across the Gold Coast track. Won that race, and on a soft track, it won 6 races, 1 win, 3 seconds, no thirds. But to me, I like that it's done that. And then finally, I have number 12, C. Marie. That is my third selection. Horse finished second, and it's only go across the course, and it has never missed the board in 4 races, a win, 2 seconds, and a third in 4 goings on a soft track. So horse likes the course, horse likes the conditions, horse likes to make rich money. That's what we're hoping for, Tom. And then finally,
always helpful.
Yeah, and that's the idea, right? To make a few dollars here and there. And if we're gonna have insomnia and be up late, might as well collect a few dollars while we do it. But it's really not that late. So for you and I,
it's 12:30. It's not that bad.
West Coast folks are going to be at 1:32 a.m. Eastern time. So that's 12:32 for you and I, the last race that we're covering here. So if you're out on the West Coast, that's at 10:32. So you're just going to be in the middle of Friday
Yeah.
night, right? Just going to be heading out, getting done with your drinks, and you'll be watching these on your phone as you're off to the
Either
club.
that or getting ready for the racing at Shot 10.
That too, which I know you'll be doing. One of the things I found, we'll talk about this next time we do Hong Kong racing. I did find some people who make picks for those tracks, so we'll bring it up next time. But in any case, this one is a 4.5 furlong race. So this was a quick one, Tom.
Oh, yeah. You blink and it's over.
Be over in a flash. So got a pretty deep field here, Tom. It looks to me like the morning line favorite is 7-2. That is the 6 horse, the Move. That means there's an opportunity to make money here as well. How are you going to do that?
Well, I picked number 10, Rem Laps Gem. And interestingly enough, I thought I was picking a big long shot, and sure enough, I read on a couple sites, this horse was mentioned a few times. So no, I'm not.
5-1.
15 starts, 6 wins, 3 seconds, and 2/3. Winner its first run of the season at this distance, and then stepped up to run third at Randwick. It's 3 for 3 at this distance, has 3 wins on the soft going. And even after its last race, the handicapper gave him a nice little weight advantage, I think. And for a quick race, that's not a bad thing to have. 2, Use Manoff is my next choice. 27 starts, 9 wins, 4 seconds, 3/3. Not much in its first start, but again, another one of those, maybe it needed the race. It's run in open company. It's run in a Group 3 race, so it's faced some decent horses. And at this distance, it's really good. 6 starts, 4 wins, and 2 seconds. And at Gold Coast, like you said, horses for courses. This is certainly one you got to think about in that area, because it's got 7 starts, 4 wins, and 2 seconds. So hard to leave that one off the ticket in my mind. Number 5, King Claus is my final choice. 19 starts, has 10 wins, 5 seconds, and 1/3. First up after its layoff, it does really nice. It has 4 starts, 3 wins, and 1 second. So when it comes in fresh, it does well. And of course, a little short distance may be just up its alley. At this distance, it's 2 starts, has a win and 1 second. It's done well both on soft and heavy, which is very, very good. And I really thought this was the horse that was going to be the favorite and the one to beat. And I'm not, it's record wise and the way they seem to prepare this horse, it's done very well.
For me, I'm going with number 12 on top. That's Gogol. This horse has run at this track 5 times, Tom. It's got 4 wins, so it definitely likes the track for sure. On the soft track, it only has 1 win, 1 second, and 2/3 in 5 races. And on a heavy track, in case it gets a little bit heavier, it has 2 wins in 3 races. So horse for the course, loves the distance, and hell, 18-1 morning line, Tom. He can't. I think that those odds are going to come down. I agree with you. Number 10 is my second choice, Renlaps Gem. Horse is 3 for 3 at the distance, so it absolutely loves these little sprints, Tom. And on a track like this one, where it's going to be soft, it has 3 wins in a second, and that's it in 5 races. And then finally, number 11, 1 strike. So I kept it right down there. I went 1, 2, 3 in 1 race. Then I have a 10, 11, and 12 in another. Maybe put the 13 in there as the superfecta. But 1 strike, it's been at the distance 3 times, 2 wins, 1 second. It's been at the track 3 times with a win and a second. And on a soft going, been in the money 5 of 9 races. So last time out, 1 at the distance. So I like the 12, 11, and 10. A lot of these races, Tom, seem to offer a lot of value. You don't have to stay up a whole lot tonight to get that done. So do they have any interesting bet types down there that perhaps we don't have available to us in the U.S., like the swinger bets or something like that?
Well, they have the place bet where you do, it's like a Quinella. Some of the bookies offer that, and so there's a little bit of difference types of bets, but They have the quaddies, which are like our pick four.
Hmm.
And
I like
so
that name better, Quaddy. Anyway,
I do too. But the pick four is sort of dull,
yeah, it is that kind of dull, and and also kind of it sounds like you can walk over to the local grocery store, put down $1 behind a guy who's standing in line for 17 minutes, running through all these different numbers, box, square, loop, whatever they have these little terminologies. But anyway,
Yeah. So there's some options there that we don't get obviously here. Our menu is pretty limited, but that's partially because of whatever your betting outlet is using, and they're all circled into for the international betting. It's all into one book. One book is doing the races for that, and of course our pari-mutuel system is going to be different than right now you could buy 5-1 on the 10. Well, I would definitely take that. But at post time it may be a lot lower.
So next week, what do we have in mind? I know you're talking about maybe coming back down here for more expensive races, or perhaps over in Dubai. What do you think?
Well, we have to wait for the Dubai until they get on to Sunday. Right now they were Friday. They're either Thursday or Friday at this time of year.
Okay.
But there's some, but again, there's some really excellent races there. So we do have to keep our eyes open and peeled. And of course, as they work their way up until the big race. And we always can look at Shah-10. Certainly you can't complain about the field sizes in Hong Kong.
Just the payouts when you think you hit $1,300 and you find out it's $100.
Or we head back to Gold Coast. That's their big. We took their first Saturday of racing before they do the other side, and those races are worth a lot more money, and probably that'll be our best bet because we'll see some really good quality Australian horses and some from New Zealand and wherever.
Good. I think I agree with you on that. Plus, let's see how we do this week. If we do really well this week, then we'll be even more motivated.
Then we got to go back.
For sure. If you like what you saw today, folks, do us a favor. Subscribe on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Helps us with the algorithms. If you see on the bottom on the scroller, you can keep up with us on Facebook and Twitter. Our handle for both is Horse Race Today, with the 2 for the today being the number 2. You see it on the scroll down there. Of course, let us know what you think about that. Terry and I will be back tomorrow to talk about some of the big stakes races this weekend. So we'll have you prepared for the big money pool races on Saturday.
And also make sure when you're on YouTube to make sure you click on the little bell so you know when we're coming on the air.
Absolutely. And if you follow us, Sean, also Swiss Army Sean socializes to let you know when we're coming on and what we'll be talking about. Last night, we had a real nice conversation with jockey Rosie Napavrik. And I'm so worried I'm always going to mispronounce her last name. So make sure you head on over to horseracingtoday.net, or you can catch it on our YouTube channel as well. So you want to see that. We made some picks and some random, not so meaningful races at the fairgrounds. But hey, if we win, it doesn't matter, right?
Well, you know what's going to happen, don't you? All those picks we made ain't going to do nothing.
Well,
and we're going to have all big price horses.
Some of them have to come through. For sure.
Well, there's some short fields. So,
absolutely. I did my homework. I think we're going to hit all of them. I don't know about you, but I always think I'm going to win every one of them, even though you're not.
Well, there's no way you're going to win every one, but you're certainly going to try.
I feel like I'm going to win them. Whether I do or not is another story. That's the whole thing right there.
That's part of horse racing.
Indeed, for sure. All right, folks. So make sure, like we said, you check us out on our social sites. Head on over to horseracingtoday.net. We got a nice Q&A up there with Rosie. You'll find some interesting stuff in there. Sean put a great article up with Roy, who joined us a little bit earlier in the show, talking about what he's doing up in Alberta, Canada. Well, I mean, Calberta's better, I think, right? And he says it's up there snowing and cold. Well, Tom and I are both in Chicago. He says it's still freezing. I went over to the local Target, which is about 3 blocks from me. I parked maybe 25, 30 feet from the door. I froze by the time I got out of the car to the door. Hopefully our picks are hot tonight in Australia, where it's definitely going to be warmer, Tom. We'll be back next week.
Wouldn't take much.
No, it wouldn't take anything. We'll be back next week with Australia. Terry and I will be back on Monday, and the Poodle's ready to go for its walk.
Are you ready?
Yeah, she's ready.
You got some good picks?
Probably better than you and I.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Till we catch up again, whether it be Monday through Thursday with Terry and I on the Daily Show, Tom and I on Friday, the late afternoon show on Thursday. As always, we hope that all your picks in Australia, in the U.S., fairgrounds, wherever you are, end up in the winner's circle. Have a great, great weekend.
Bye.